Let's look at the applicability of section 194C on individuals and HUF. So if the payer is an individual or HUF, you need to identify whether the payment which has been made is for business purpose. If it is for business purpose, then there is a liability to deduct TDS. But if it is said sum is paid or credited exclusively for personal purposes of the individual or HUF, then there is no liability to deduct TDS. But if it is not exclusively for personal purposes, then there is a liability to deduct TDS. In other words, if it is for business purposes, there is a liability to deduct TDS. If the sum paid is exclusively for personal purpose, mark the word exclusively. If it is exclusively for personal purpose, no TDS. But if it is not exclusively for personal purpose, then there is a liability to deduct TDS. Now, insofar as the rate of tax is concerned, we looked at it that it is 1% or 2%. However, the rate will be 20% if PAN is not quoted by the deductee. Section 206AA provides that the rate of TDS will be 20% if the PAN number is not given. There will be no surcharge, health or education cess, which shall be added if the applicable rate of TDS is 20% under Section 206AA. And this is based on the decision of Computer Science Corporation India of the Delhi. So what is the meaning of work? We saw earlier that 194C is attracted when the payment is in respect of work. So what all is included in work? Let's look at that. First is advertising. So if a person provides you advertising services, the rate of withholding tax from that is 2% or 1%, as the case may be, depending on who the provider is. Broadcasting and telecasting services, including production of programs for such broadcasting and telecasting. Carriage of goods or passenger by any mode of transport other than by railways. So if, let's say, a school has a contract with a company which provides bus, right? So it provides for carriage of passengers by bus, then it will be liable for withholding tax under 194C. Catering, you have a lot of caterers these days who serve food during the marriages and various functions. So if a business hosts some get together for their company and they pay to the caterers, that will attract TDS under 194C. Now this is something which is important. Manufacturing or supplying the product, which could be an article or thing, according to the requirement or specification of a customer by using material purchased from such customer. So suppose there is a customer and there is a person who is a manufacturer. The customer provides some material to this manufacturer and he manufactures this product according to the requirement given by the customer. In such a case, if the material is purchased from him and the supply is made to him, the remuneration paid to him would be covered under Section 194C. Supply of labor for carrying out any work is also covered as a part of work. So there is a manpower agency which provides supply labor to carry out some work, then that is something which will be covered under Section 194C. But one thing which you need to note is that work doesn't include manufacturing or supplying a product according to the requirement or specification of the customer by using material purchased from a person other than such customer. So in this case, if instead of purchasing the material from the customer, it would have been purchased from an independent person X, then it will not be covered within the definition of work. However, it will not apply to a contract which doesn't entail manufacture or supply of thing. So manufacture of product, that is article or thing, is important. If there's a contract for construction, that is something which is not going to get covered here. is for manufacturing or supplying a product, which has to be an article or a thing. Work contract will include what? Contracts for construction, repair, renovation, or alteration of building. So suppose there's a real estate tycoon who wants to create a building. To make this building, he subcontracts or gives a contract to a smaller construction company. If they carry out the construction, they carry out the repair, renovation, alteration, then this will be covered under 194C. Or laying of roads. There are various companies which are building national highway these days. If they are laying roads, providing services to the government or NHAI, National Highway Authority of India, they may be something which may be liable to be covered under this section. And airfields or railway lines. Erection or installation of plant and machinery. If you are setting up a plant and for erection or installation of plant and machinery, you take some services. Those services will be covered under 194C. Contract granted for processing of goods supplied by the payer, where the ownership of goods remains at all time with such payer. So suppose there is a manufacturer, he outsources a process to a person X, and the material that is given, the ownership of this material at all times remain with the supplier. Once these goods are processed, X gives it back to this person. In that case, the service fee or the amount paid to X will be covered within the definition of work. Contract for fabrication of any article or thing, where material are supplied by the payer and fabrication work is done by the contractor. Contract for supply of labor for carrying out any work. This we've already discussed. Section 194C applies only to contractors, including subcontractors who are resident of India. Again, this is repetition but still important. If you make a payment to a non-resident contractor, he shall be covered under section 195. What all is excluded from works contract? A contract for sale of goods. On sale of goods, generally there is no TDS, where the contractor undertakes to supply any article or thing fabricated according to the specification given by the payer, and the property in such article or thing passes to such payer only after such article or thing is delivered. Right? So if a person manufactures something, but the property passes only after delivery, that's something which is not included in works contract. Contract for rendering professional services by lawyers, physicians, surgeons, engineers, accountant, architect, consultant, etc. They are not covered under 194C because they are covered under section 194J. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, you can subscribe to our channel to stay updated on more such videos. You can like these videos and also share it with your friends. And if you're looking for material on this particular subject, you can visit us on our website at www.arinjayacademy.com.